Thanks so much for downloading the episode. On the show today, it is the Hodgepodge edition. As we jump from subject to subject at a fairly quick speed, we're talking hair maintenance, husbands, hummingbirds, and some celeb news, and a lone, ugly, and awkward moment of the week. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
I will lay here with my mouth open for you all day.
Paula?
If you think that anal is on the menu, you're wrong.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Ugly Truth.
Welcome to the Ugly Truth. It is episode 281.
Sorry.
That's right.
I'm an allergy sufferer this week.
You're a giant histamine today. Yeah, I was actually coughing in the backyard. We were doing some yard work, which, trust me, I hated because I was like I felt like I was going to sweat because I only glisten. I do not sweat.
I'm not a sweater.
I mean, close.
That sounded funny.
Not a sweater.
I'm more of a cardigan.
I'm more of a pashmina myself.
Something cashmere.
But yes, I started coughing and I was like, and it was like a dumb little cat cough, like a cat ball cough. Yes. And Daryl's like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "You're right over there." And I'm like, "I think I ate a bug." Keep your mouth closed. That's what it was like. But there was just so much fuzz in the air from all those. It looks like it's snowing in the backyard, all the pollen.
Yeah.
It's like hell. It's pure hell. God. Anyway, welcome to the Ugly Truth. I'm Jamie with my sister Paula. Okay, so this is our hodgepodge episode because we couldn't come up with like a veritable outline that we could like go point by point. So we're basically just going to talk like we do when you come over to my house. Yeah. So before you tell me about your full bush.
Yes.
Because before we were recording, and we always have the best conversations before we hit record, and I hate that. We were talking about brows and unibrows, how if we had a baby, because I was telling you, I have a friend who started waxing her daughter probably around 8 or 9. And I know that sounds cruel, but what's more cruel? Having a unibrow in school or just dealing with the patch wax and getting that gone so that kids can't make fun of you.
I know. And of course, kids will find anything to make fun of.
Oh, they look for the flaws. Yeah.
And I mean, at a young age, I'm sure they don't really notice eyebrows, but as they get older, of course, they're going to notice something like that. So I was of the mindset, like when they start shaving their legs, they can probably like start doing a little wax like in the middle of the eyebrow or something.
Yeah. And like you said, the thing with people who wax, they want perfection because that's what they get paid for. But when you bring in someone with little virgin skin, the last thing you want is for them to be plucking those rando brows under the brow line where it makes your eyes water.
That's what hurts.
I hate it. And so I'm with you. I'd be like, look, wax the patch. If you must do the errant hairs above and around the brow, fine. But I think that anybody between the ages of 8 and 10 or 11 probably would look weird with perfectly groomed brows. So it's like, let's just, I mean, they would look kind of weird. They'd look like, are you in show business?
Do you do pageants?
Yeah, it's like, are you doing, what are you doing? Why do you look like that? But I would be like, look, we're just trying to avoid the bullying. Can you just do the patch and we'll move on? And like I said, we'll bring her in when she's like 14 and really vain, and we'll let you pluck away. But until then, just get the random hairs off the middle of the forehead. I do remember going to school with girls and boys, because boys have no shame until they're old. Now, because everybody's metrosexual, even Daryl has asked if he should get his brows done.
What?
I have seen, well, first of all, Daryl's brows are weird because, have you ever looked at a man's eyebrows? Like really studied a man's eyebrows?
I mean, only by force, because Victor will like point at one. He's like, do you see this? Do you see this? It's pure white. And I'm just like, okay.
You can get those tinted.
You know, but I mean, for the most part, I don't really, only if there's something like, severely, unusual. I don't know, something out there about it that I'm just noticed like, wow, he's got really bushy eyebrows. But I mean, other
old
than
man
that,
brows.
I don't know. I notice ear hair more than I would notice, brow hair.
Daryl does not have ear hair. And I made a solemn vow one time when he got older. He's like, if I ever get ear hair. You have to tell me. And I'm like, well, I'm going to, because you will become so sexually repellent if you had ear hair sticking out of your ear hole that I would absolutely say, hey, listen, you want to keep up with what we got going on, you're going to have to do something about that ear.
Right.
So don't worry.
That's when he gets the ear nose trimmer for Christmas.
Right. You'll be like, happy birthday. So why do you have a full bush? Are you like in prison? Do you have no access to razors?
No, I do. But I mean, the thing is like, for so long, I just didn't really care, and Victor doesn't really care. And
he doesn't have a preference.
No, he just likes sex, so he doesn't really care about whether it's And because I don't like oral sex, it's really not an issue.
Right? Did I ever tell you what Daryl said about? Because I asked Daryl his opinion on pubic hair once.
What did he say?
Because I do accept oral pleasure.
Yes.
And so I asked him, I said, in this world of porn that's so mainstream now, which I'm not a fan of, I said, do you have a preference with pubic hair? And he goes, no. And I go, do you like it when there's none or just a strip or what? He goes, well, I mean, it makes my job easier. I said, oh, it's a job, is it?
Right.
He goes, well, you know what I mean? I'm like, no, actually, I don't know what you mean. But that was years ago, and he has apologized like 100 times since.
In my 20s, I was so meticulous. Like,
Yes.
I was shaving like the anus, literally.
Oh, God,
like,
why?
I was like perfectly hairless.
You were
with the exception of like this tiny little mustache. I don't even know what the point of it was.
Oh, like a little airstrip.
I guess so. I didn't look nubile, but
Well, you know what? Now, because everybody's allowed to have an opinion on everything, there are some men who don't. I mean, I think the only men who like zero hair are people who are way too far into porn, and if they're that aware of pubic hair and they don't like it, you're immature and you're a douchebag. Personally.
Yeah.
If you actually have a preference.
I didn't do it for anyone necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just was like offering it. Like it was available.
You're like, hey, I'll do it. Yeah, I've done it. I feel like a giant porpoise. I don't like it. It's too slick. It's too dolphin-y. It's uncomfortable and it feels weird. And then the growing back part is just pure hell.
Oh my God. Well, not fast forward, rewind to my first marriage. When,
Yes.
I was first learning about these things because I
Sure.
was so naive. I shaved like just the front of everything.
Yeah.
But I didn't get like all the way into the back. And so I'm just like, so what does it look like? And he's all, it looks like you have a little bunny puff.
Oh
Like,
my God.
because I didn't get like
You didn't
going
do all
into
the
the
way
butt
down.
area, and so
and I'm sure
wasn't
there's
he
someone
such
listening.
a nice person? I
Well,
know.
he's an ex for a reason. That asshole
Exactly.
saying that about your genital area. He should have been like, it's beautiful. Everything is gorgeous. That's what he should have said. Women are probably listening, going, "Ever heard of going to someone who will wax you so you don't have
Okay.
to go through this effort?"
So that's the predicament I'm at, because I'm to the point where I don't think a razor can cut it, literally. You know what I mean? Like, I asked Victor, I'm like, could I use your clippers to shave my vagina hair? And he's just like,
Absolutely not.
he's just like, I think they have like women's ones that you could use. So
They
that was
do.
a polite way of saying no.
They do, but to me, it's like the shaving material that men are offered commercially is so superior to what women get. We buy shit and it's pink and it's fragile and it doesn't really do its job. It's like our hair, whether it's on our legs or our pits or our genital region, is just as coarse and normal as a man's. It's no different.
Right.
Right? It's hair. It's human hair. I don't get it.
Then I'm just like, well, maybe I should get waxed. But then I'm just like, God, that's a big commitment,
A suggestion, since it's been a while since you've actually had a razor see the skin down there, I would
Like
start.
there's cobwebs or,
I know.
something
It's
like that.
I could be on death row and not have that situation. is you need to start with some scissors.
Oh, okay.
You need to start with scissors, and I would also suggest that you have scissors that you don't use on anything else. Go buy them or whatever.
Right.
And don't use craft scissors. Use hair cutting scissors
Okay.
or eyebrow cutting. And and if you're concerned about nicking the skin, just get like a comb or something and kind of comb and cut as you go, just like a hair cutter person would.
Okay.
And that way you get down to it. Because, there's nothing wrong with it just being trim. They call it trim for a reason.
True.
It doesn't have to be, you don't have to do the strip. I would do that. And then, if you want it to look neat, then you can just shave the outer lips and then kind of make it look more triangular and trim. I don't know. That's what I would do.
So maybe I just need like a really good razor and
but I would definitely start by getting if you've got it full on Brillo, I would get scissors.
Right.
I would get scissors. I'm not saying, first of all, you should do whatever you want to do. A lot of men like a full bush.
Yeah.
Do you have gray hair in there?
No.
Oh, thank God. Good. I don't either. I was just wondering.
I don't think we're gray hair people.
We're not. Our grandmothers never had gray. Our grandmother was redhead blonde, and I think she was gray in like her late 80s. And our grandmother on our dad's side had a strip of gray in her hair, but always had black hair.
Yeah.
She had one little gray. She looked like the lady from What Not to Wear. She had that one strip of white. And that was it.
Oh, like the skunk thing.
Mm-hmm. And she was much older when she had that. I have a feeling that our grandmother on our dad's side lied about her age. I think she was a lot older than she said.
Yeah, she did seem awfully old.
Yeah, she seemed old for a really long time. So
That is true.
that's okay though, because we never questioned it.
Well, like we knew, the difference between age.
I went to my dentist and got my cleaning on Friday, and everything's harrowing with me. Nothing is normal when I go to the dentist. They all come in, they all walk on eggshells when I walk in. They're like, "Well, hello, we're so glad you're here," because I'm so anxious.
Oh my God.
Well, I hate teeth cleaning, and my awkward moment obviously happened at the dentist, so I'll tell you about it later.
Oh,
but
good.
when I was doing my first checkup before the cleaning, he's like, "Well, how old are you?" And I told him, and he goes, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "God, I thought you were at least 10 years younger than that." And I'm like, "Well, thank you very much." He goes, "I'm not trying to butter you up." And I'm like, "I'm aware, but trust me, you have no idea how much I talk about how old I am. So this is awesome. Thank you."
You're not trying to butter me up, but trust me, I'm buttered.
I'm very buttered. I will lay here with my mouth open for you all day.
Oh, God.
I did not
Was
say
that your ugly, awkward moment?
No. I did not say that. Although, you know what I did say, and this was also, this qualifies as an awkward moment, is I was getting like a full set of x-rays, which I hadn't done in like 5 years.
Yeah.
So I was doing the full set of x-rays, and I sat down and I said, "Look," I go, "no dirty jokes, but I have a really bad gag reflex." And she's like, "Oh, really?" And I said, "I'm not kidding." And she's like, "All right, no problem." But it was like, why did I have to say that? Why did I have to preface a joke with the thing? Like, why couldn't I just say, "I really struggle with the back, things, blah, blah, blah." And she's like, and then of course, now that I'm only thinking of gag reflex, I'm only thinking of blowjobs, and every time I gag, I'm like, "Oh God," it's like, and
Oh
she's
my God. You have a bad gag reflex?
very bad, very bad.
Really?
Yes, it's
I wonder
terrible.
where you get that.
I don't know. I don't know where I get my bad teeth from, for God's sake. So anyway, scissors.
Oh, right. So I'll do the scissors, and then I'll get the super nice razor.
Yeah.
And then I will proceed. Okay.
Proceed, and then don't cut yourself.
I won't.
Daryl got real vain about his pubic hair once. I don't know why. I think he's discussed this on the show, so I'll repeat it. But he was, I think, in an effort for more attention, he manicured his scrotal area.
Oh.
And because he had some errant hairs, and he's like, "This errant hair is bothering me." So he took a scissor to it to cut it, and he clipped his sack.
Ow.
Yeah, that was the last time that he's like, "Well, you know what? It's not that important. I don't need to cut anything."
It's not the hair. It's the smell of the skin.
It's the skin.
God.
Oh, God. Anyway.
It's like the sack of pheromones or hormones or whatever.
Well, it's like hormone central down there.
Jeez. It's like, I don't even... I don't know how to explain it, but
Can you imagine growing up in like the 50s and 60s when no one did anything and that no one gave a crap about pubic hair back then or anything?
yeah, really. When did we change? Porn. That's probably what happened.
Everybody was aware.
Men had demands.
They had standards and expectations, and suddenly, women were supposed to be nymphomaniacs and completely trim and manicured in all areas.
Just put everything in their mouth and, be hairless.
There's some good things that sex became more open in America, which is always a good thing, because Europe, they don't give a crap about, they're like, yeah, we have sex all the time. It's no big deal. But
someone told me they watch porn on Thanksgiving, but
that's awesome.
That could be a lie. I don't know.
Well, that could also be very sad. But come on, kids, gather round. It's time to watch the porn. I never understood. I do not appreciate that anal has gone. All of a sudden, it's an expected thing. I hate it. I hate that anal. It makes me crazy. And the bleaching of the asshole. Why is that that never should have been a thing to me. That seems unhealthy to me.
If you're not okay with the color of my asshole, then you can get out. And if you think that anal is on the menu, you're wrong. That's for someone special and someone smaller.
Yes, for sure. I don't like it. I've never been a fan, and every guy tries it, and it's just, I'm like, why can't the words "I don't like it" be enough? Why is it always like, well, let's just try it this way, let's try that? I'm like, no, I hate it. I don't want to do it. And isn't it funny? I don't know about you, because you don't say no a lot, but
not usually.
But if I do, I always get really dramatic, and I just get out of bed, or I get up. I'm like, nope, we're done here. And it ruins everything.
They're like, wait, no.
Wait a minute. Oh, all right, I won't. It's like, forget it.
You already tried.
There's no in between.
Well, that's true. It does kind of kill the mood.
Oh God! And then I'm rolling my eyes, and now I'm turned into a cat, and I'm just like, ugh.
The first guy I ever did anal with, he told me that he was such a teacher. I appreciated him.
Oh, that's nice.
He says you have to be really super horny, kind of like almost like animalistic.
It's primal.
It is.
Yes.
And you just have to go slow is all.
And men are so good at going slow.
Yeah, because that's their thing. Just go slow at first.
Yes, I can't. Yeah, it's not my fan. So speaking of aggression, I wanted to tell you this because it was so out of character. Daryl and I we were doing some errands and just kind of poking around. I have a playlist on my phone that I listen to in the car when I'm alone because it's real girly music. Daryl's really not into it. It's fine, but it's just my indulgent kind of music that I only listen to when I'm by myself because no one else would like it. They'd be like, oh my God, we don't want to listen to Xanadu again or Joni Mitchell or whatever. They don't want to hear it.
Right.
So I realized there is a very strong emotional tie to the Dave Matthews Band. You either love them or you hate them. There is no in between, like, yeah, I can give or take it. I know that you and our sister Allison are, well, I don't know about how big of a fan you are, but I know I took you to a Dave Matthews concert forever ago.
Well, I used to be a pretty big fan, when I was a senior in high school, because they were, the it band big of the time. But now it's just a little too Ren Fair kind of.
It's real mellow.
I don't know, hemp fest kind
soft
of
shoe.
music. I'm just not into it. So
yeah,
I'm
a lot
just
of Birkenstocks.
Bring out the drums and the guitar.
God damn, no kidding. No more pan flute.
Right.
Yes. Well, there's one song of Dave Matthews that I like, and it's the one everybody likes. It's Crash. It's the only one I like.
Everybody likes that song.
So we're in the car and everything's cool. The sun is setting. We're on the freeway and my playlist hits Crash. And I'm like, oh, this is the perfect way. We're sailing down the freeway mellow. And Daryl sits up and aggressively changes it as fast as he can to some rap. And I'm like, what the fuck did you just do? He goes, what? I go, I like that. And so he's like, what? I was just joking. I'm like, you were just jokingly, aggressively changing and being a huffy puffy individual about this. He's like, fine, I'll put it back. So he puts back the song and then he proceeds to talk over it the entire time. And I'm like, what's happening right now? Like, why are you being such an asshole?
Bad memories, like a bad date or something?
That's what I was thinking. Is that this has some kind of memory that he's repressing, that he does not want to admit to.
Something.
Or he doesn't even know. He doesn't even know why. Because he has a really bad memory. He, like, blocks out a lot of stuff. And so I think that it triggered something in him, and it got really pissed. And I was like, that, and it was pre us. I mean, the song's way old. So I was like, wow, this is interesting. Okay. I had and it didn't even occur to me until later that it probably was a memory trigger. Mm-hmm. And because we were not even married yet. We didn't even know each other when the song came out. So it was pre me, but I was like, God, I wish I'd been a little more nice about it. I pouted forever. Like, I pouted forever. And so he said something, I'm like, whatever. He's like, are you still pouting about this? I'm like, excuse me? Do not speak to me like that. Who do you think you're talking to? You don't tell me I'm pouting. Because he never has ever said that. It was really weird.
That is strange.
It was a weird little circumstance for us, because first of all, he does not tell me if I am pouting. Ever has those words come out of his mouth. It was strange.
Someone was definitely projecting there.
Yes, for
Victor
sure.
and I are always arguing in the car about what to listen to, because
You really?
he forever will listen to country, like only country.
What kind? Like the real country or the crap that they play on the radio now? Because that's not real.
Well, that's what I said. And so he likes the 90s country, which I'm okay with, or like the 80s country, not the early 80s stuff, like George Jones and stuff like that. But
right.
You know, just the stuff that we kind of grew up with, like Alabama, and then mostly the 90s country.
Yeah.
But he'll listen to what's on the radio today because it's just country. And I'm just like, that's the very reason why I stopped listening to country, because
it's not country.
Whatever I'm like, it's just a regurgitation of the same crap. I'm like, how many times can you take the girl to the river and fish and then make out
and drink beer on a hot summer night?
You know, I just or see her at the bar by herself, because that happens.
Yes, the hottie by herself drinking a Jack and Coke,
sitting under the neon sign, and I can't stand it. I'm so over it.
It is.
You know, and if you watch the videos, it's the guy singing the song. Most oftentimes he's freaking fugly.
Of
and
course.
then they've got this, gorgeous model.
This hot 20-year-old.
And I'm just like, yeah, that makes sense.
That's never going to happen. Is this in a fantasy world?
I can't stand it. And so I listen to what's on the radio today, or my favorite station is the 80s station. And I will listen to that all day long. Mm-hmm. He lets me I'll pretend to listen to other stations and well, I don't really like that song. I don't like that song. I'm like, oh, what's this? And then it's the 80s station.
Walk like an Egyptian.
And he's like, Paula, you don't have to pretend. You can just go to that station. I'm like, what are you talking about? So,
isn't it funny how hostile we get in the car? I think it's because we feel trapped.
I don't know what it is.
I
can't
trapped.
stand the way he drives. So,
oh, Paula, really, I yell at Daryl so much. I get so angry with him in the car, and he knows it, because I'll do the fake brake all the time on him.
I do that so much.
Okay, so really quick, so the hummingbirds hatched. I told you.
I saw that.
And there are 2 other nests in our backyard. We are like up to our eyeballs in hummingbirds.
Wow.
It's so crazy. And I did buy a feeder, because they do need to feed their babies. These nests are extra nests, though. They're not, there's not more babies in them. I read that hummingbirds actually build a second nest so that they can stay close by as the babies get bigger, because they can't fit.
Oh.
So it's just an extra nest. But anyway, wouldn't that be nice to do that with it's kind of like when you transition your baby from your bedroom to their own bedroom to their crib. That's kind of what they're doing.
Like the nursery. Okay.
Yes, it's the same thing, but in the animal world. Now, the only thing that I've read lately about hummingbirds is that praying mantises like to eat them. I know, Paula. I swear to God, I read this. So praying mantises will hide under feeders. And when the hummingbird is there to get their sugar water, the praying mantis will attack it and kill it and start eating it through its eye. And it's not uncommon. And so it's always female praying mantises, and they're usually in mating season. I saw a picture and it said this ferocious praying mantis was eating the brain of a hummingbird and mating at the same time on this bird feeder.
Mating with who?
A praying mantis, a male praying mantis.
Well, like then she's going to have to turn around and eat his head too.
Yes, and they do. It was like the most ferocious thing I'd ever seen in my life. And so now every day I go out looking for hunting praying mantises, because the last thing I want is to see a decapitated hummingbird. Oh my God.
God, they must have really big stomachs.
I don't know. Well, that or the hummingbird's brains are real small.
It could be that too.
I mean, I understand this. Like, I get the circle of life, and I know that if praying mantises didn't eat an occasional and behead an occasional hummingbird, there'd be too many. But I can't in good conscience allow it with these two little babies, because they'll die, and I can't. When these fly away, maybe I'll allow it. But until then, I want no dead hummingbirds and no ferocious female praying mantises in my, in the vicinity.
Have you ever seen a praying mantis in your yard?
Oh, yes.
Oh, really?
Real big ones. Yes. So, and they get on the deck and stuff. So
maybe you should just kill them.
I tried to kill one once and they don't die. They're very hardy creatures.
Usually they just start like running at you or start to like,
don't stop it.
They raise their hands up and then they start like, what's up? Come on.
They're just like, what do you want, bitch? Let's go. It's like, no, I don't want to mess with you.
It's like that crab that had a knife in his hand.
Which I love that little meme. I love that little gif. It's like, come on, bring it on. Let's go, man.
Oh my God. I'm surprised Bodega hasn't tried to kill the hummingbirds.
They're so far up, and they check us out all the time when we go out there and we're doing stuff. The mom will come down and fly around. It's like, okay, I recognize you. You're not going to mess with me. Aww. And then they go, yeah, they do. It's kind of cool.
That's cute.
Okay, so let's move on to some celeb news, because there has been quite a bit this morning, and it's tragic, and it's also very interesting. So I want to get your thoughts on a couple of things. Let's get through the bad news first.
Okay.
Kate Spade, which I have a lot of her products, has killed herself. She committed suicide this morning. Yes.
Shut up.
No, she was found in her apartment. She had hung herself, actually. God. Left a note. Her housekeeper found her. It's terrible. It's tragic. And really, as much as we tout how important mental health is, this stuff still happens. And we will never know everything about her. We'll never know her struggles with mental health, or maybe whatever else may have gone to this conclusion for her.
Yeah, what afflictions she had.
Yes, we'll never know, but it just makes you realize that, you can tweet and post and share and, but mental health is so essential to keep tabs on. It's just as important to make sure your mental health is good as it is when you go to the doctor for a physical. And I wish there was a way to convey that very simply, that, just because there was a taboo for so long, taking care of and really, we didn't take care of ourselves physically for decades. It's only been the last probably 20 years where they go, hey, you got to watch what you eat. You got to move. You got to blah, blah, blah. Everything in moderation. Well, it's time to say, hey, there's nothing wrong with having a therapist, or just kind of keeping an eye on your depression or your moods if it's more than normal. I just think it's so important, is as important as your physical health, to make sure your mental health is as good as you can get it.
Well, yeah, perfectly healthy people don't just kill themselves.
They do not. They do not.
Clearly, she had some sort of demons inside of her that were.
I was really saddened by that.
It's just shocking.
It is shocking. She was 55. She was not old.
And I mean, it says that she hung herself in her Park Avenue apartment. And I mean, so, it seems like, when you hear something like that, it's just like, people think like, someone who has it all.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Successful designer, lives in a nice house, and
had a daughter.
Her housekeeper found her. So obviously, she had money because people were cleaning her house, and
she was David Spade's sister-in-law because she married David Spade's brother, and they're obviously, I think they divorced or not. They're not together anymore.
Right.
It's devastating, and what's more devastating, she has a daughter, and that's the most devastating is her family. So, safe home to Miss Kate Spade. I really, really hope some people will take note of this and just say, we really got to get our shit together on reaching out to those who are struggling and not thinking, oh, well, she's just having a bad day, or oh, she's always been like that. It's like, no, you can't. And you're right. Success definitely does shield people from thinking they're okay because they're successful. They're like, well, a depressed person wouldn't be successful.
Yeah. Look at Robin Williams,
Oh, God. He's the ultimate. He's the ultimate example of that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's the bad news. But Top Gun 2 is being filmed.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Really?
Well, I follow Val Kilmer on Facebook.
Me too.
And he looks haggard.
Well, he's been battling some kind. Well, it's not cancer apparently, but it's cancer.
He's got a throat thing going on.
Yes, he doesn't want to say it's throat. I mean, Michael Douglas threw him under the bus and said, yeah, he's got throat cancer for the same reason I did. Eating pussy.
What?
Yeah, you can get chlamydia, and if you get it through, an STD,
Michael Douglas was a smoker too.
Well, he's claiming it was from chlamydia. He's claiming that he ate too much pussy and he got cancer.
Oh, yes. Everybody would like to get throat cancer from such a noble cause.
Right? And so, but he said Val Kilmer got it too.
I got throat cancer from letting penis whack the back of my throat too much.
Exactly. You got penis cancer in your throat. He said the same thing, and Val's like, I did not get throat cancer. I have a growth. And I think his voice is kind of messed up, right? I remember, wasn't it just the other day he did a Facebook video? Because his hair's all short now, because he's in Top Gun, right?
Oh, I didn't see it.
Okay, well, his hair looks like Iceman from Top Gun, but older.
Oh, awesome.
I hope he's in it. I really do. They're not saying, other than Tom Cruise, who is in it. I don't want it to be a profile on Maverick. The whole point of that movie was all the hot guys that were in it and the one ugly girl, which
Kelly McGillis,
I never liked her. Now who is now a lesbian.
Like, isn't that funny? She probably had one of the hottest sex scenes. Like,
for the time, yeah.
At the time.
Yes.
With one of the hottest guys ever at the time.
I know.
And go to find out she probably didn't even enjoy herself.
She's probably listening there, laying back going, God, where's Laura?
She's probably laying there.
Where's Debbie?
Like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Oh, God. I mean, yeah. But, back then, of course, we didn't know anything about sexuality. We didn't think about homosexuality back then because I didn't even know. No one, someone like me was not aware that George Michael would have been gay. Where now when you look at the videos, you're like, well, obviously.
How could you? Well, if you were a gay man, then
I'm sure.
Would have known.
Of course. But we were very young, straight girls who knew nothing of the world.
Very naive.
We were very naive. So we didn't think about sexuality being anything other than our own. And so we see Top Gun and, like a lot of people I know have said that's a very homosexually friendly film. Like, really? Men love the volleyball scene.
Everybody loves the volleyball scene.
Exactly. That's my point, is everybody loved the volleyball scene, not just girls. Like forever I thought Playgirl was for women. It's not. It's not.
Oh. Like, mind blown right now.
Just as blown as Arby's. When we all just realized that Arby's stands for roast beef.
Right.
God. Daryl showed that to me like a couple days before it blew up. on the internet, the little meme about Arby's standing for roast beef, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I hate that I didn't even recognize that.
Well, I mean, who would? I don't know.
Same reason why I looked at a Playgirl once when I was like 15. I'm like, this is unappealing to me in a million ways. Like, I have no desire to look at this at all. And so I'm like, why would anybody want to look at a bunch of naked men?
Right? I feel like such an idiot right now.
Me too. I felt like an idiot until someone, I don't even remember, I don't even know what made me realize. I had some kind of epiphany years ago and went, well, of course it's not for women. God, dumb.
I'm almost 40 years old, and I had to have it pointed out to me that Playgirl is not for girls.
It's just crazy. It's crazy. I mean, you know what? Sure. I'm sure there are women who enjoy looking at the nude man. Sure. But I mean, in all honesty, that's not no woman is going, I think I need a Playgirl. No. Women can go out and get a real one. No problem. Any woman can go out and see a naked dude whenever. So
I mean, any girl can go out and get dick whenever she wants.
That's what I'm saying.
She doesn't need a magazine.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that a whole new world? It's like, God, we're learning so many things.
I've learned so much today.
But yeah, Top Gun, I mean, we know nothing about the film. We have no idea what it's about. I just hope it's not Maverick being depressed as a 60-year-old. I mean, I hope it's something.
Well, I have high hopes that they'll make Val Kilmer look really good because, you know, they can do anything with makeup and clothing and all that kind of stuff.
I hope he's like, you know, I hope he looks just virile and brawny and strong for his age, you know, a strong, virile man. Well,
he's pretty thin, but
I know, that's what I'm saying is I hope they pat him up and make him look healthy and just real, like, you know, I'm older, but I'm still a badass kind. I don't want to look all wafy wearing a scarf and, you know, right? Like I'm a hipster now, you know. I don't want that. I want to see the typical, you know, in the movies, military guys.
Well, unless they make him like dying of cancer.
Oh my God. Yeah. That would be the worst. Someone's got to die, though. Isn't that the Top Gun pattern? There's got to be a tragedy.
There's got to be a fight, and maybe he's the wingman, and then he covers Maverick, and then he dies. And
I'm thinking that there's going to be a son. There's going to be a Maverick Jr., and they're going to have to co-pilot each other against the bad guys.
Yeah, because maybe him and Kelly McGillis got married or something.
I doubt it. Who knows? She was older than him. I don't know. Anyway, I think it'll be something like that.
We can speculate all we want. Who knows?
We can. We can do whatever we want. We can make up anything. We have backstories for miles.
Right.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and do our ugly and awkward moments of the week. So do you have one?
You know what? No, because we're recording a little close together.
Super
I managed to keep it clean this week, so far I haven't done anything embarrassing.
Well, that's okay. So I, like I said, I'm beginning this travel toward saving myself as much time as I can to keep my teeth cleaned and perfectly healthy, and I'm halfway through. So I had to go through a cleaning on Friday, and my anxiety when it comes to the dentist is not going. It is the fact that I struggle with super hypersensitivity. So any kind of anything when they touch my teeth, it hurts. It's very uncomfortable. And it's not unusual, but it is, I really hate it. So they have all of these new ways of keeping you numb when they do cleanings. Because my teeth are so clean, there was hardly any scraping or anything to do. But whenever she did, it was like, oh, I mean, it just hurts to talk about it. So they put this stuff on that literally numbs the outside enamel of your teeth. And so she was able to go through and do everything. It was great. But when they do that, there's parts where they use like these little ultrasound things to kind of work on some plaque buildup. Well, they use water.
Oh,
So
okay.
they put the suck thing in the side of your mouth to suck
Yeah.
up all the water. Well, like I told you, I have a gag reflex problem. So at some point, she's like, okay, we're just going to put this into the side of your mouth. And I'm thinking, okay, no problem. And then it kind of moves back a bit. I'm all, oh. And she's like, oh, are you having a problem? I'm like, I'm just going to hold this up a little bit so that I don't gag. And she's like, okay. So I hate it. I hate all of this because I am not a pussy when it comes to pain. I can handle anything usually unless it's my mouth. And I'm such a bitch about it. Not a mean bitch, just like I'm a whiny, not even whiny. I'm a pussy and I hate it because I don't cooperate on accident. And so I'm holding this up and it's getting in her way. And so she's working on my mouth and I'm stressing so much that I literally straightened the entire thing. It was, instead of curving into my mouth, it was a straight, like a pencil. I completely pulled it out of my mouth and I was just holding this thing and it started to suck on my cheek. And she's like, we need this in your mouth because there's water. I'm like, okay. So I say, okay. And all the water that had gathered in the back of my throat, which should have been sucked up by the vacuum, went down my throat. I immediately started to choke. It was a nightmare. I'm like, oh, why am I like this?
Why'd you have to make everything so difficult?
I don't know. And I looked at her and I'm like, I am so sorry. I'm the worst patient ever. And she's like, it's okay. It's fine. I'm like, stop saying that. I know it's not true.
I know what's wrong. I probably just swallowed asbestos or something.
Oh God, who knows? But anyway, it's like I literally just need to take a Xanax and just let them do what they need to do to me. You know what I mean? Like, why
They have them there in the office, don't they?
They do. It's like, why am I white knuckling my way through this? There are so many drugs and things that we can do these days. Stop acting like a hero. No one wins when you're sober at the dentist. For me, you know?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Gosh.
Anyway.
I think having like super sensitive mouths and like pain in the mouth is hereditary because when Allison had her braces, whenever she got like an adjustment, she would be down for like 2 days.
Oh God, I can only imagine.
Her mouth would be just like so bad. It hurt so bad.
Yeah, it's true. And it's funny because they're always so surprised. I'm like, I can't be the only person who suffers from this. In fact, she even showed me some toothpaste that they have. They're like, you really need to use the Sensodyne. If it has the tooth on it, that's the one you want. Because it does help. And so I went out and bought it. And I'm like, well, I hope it works because I have to come back, you know, in a month or whatever. So hopefully it works. But I hate going to the dentist, not because of the people. They're actually really great. It's because of me. I make it so difficult for myself. And I hate it. I really, really do. I wish there was well, there is. It's called drugs. It's called It's called anti-anxiety medication. And I have to stop acting like I don't need it. I really do.
It's not today's not your normal dentist anymore. So
no, it's so different. I love it. He's like, well, I remember he goes, should we give you something to take the edge off? I'm like, yeah, that would be great. Why stop saying no to that? Just say yes. Just say yes.
It's so easy.
It is. You just need a ride. I'm like, fuck, I'll Uber home if I have to. It's fine.
Yeah, right. Just keep taking Daryl with you. It's not
I
that
will.
hard.
I'm going to. And you know, it's funny. He always offers. He's like, well, you want me to take you? I'm like, no, I got this. He's like, okay. And I'm like, idiot. You don't got this.
Why did I do that?
You do not have this.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Well, I think that gives you like 15,000 points.
Thank you.
So
for breaking the vacuum and
zero
choking.
for me, but
Yes.
that's okay.
That's okay. Oh, by the way, it's so funny. Just when I think we're not going to get any more Ugly moments, we get Ugly moments. We get people submitting. So we have some submittals for the Wednesday show. It'll be awesome. And I will recap. We're going to the beach. You're not coming. I invited you, but you actually have plans.
Yes.
So I'll recap our beach vacation. We're taking a really quickie, extra long weekend, and then we'll discuss Father's Day.
Yes.
All of that's coming up. So
okay, well, I think that's all we have for you guys. Be sure to shop our Ugly Mall or go to lipandclip.com for your Avon needs. Plenty of good stuff there right now, and they even have stuff for fathers, so you might check that out. Also, you want to go to our Amazon site, and they have lots of gadgets and tools and slippers and all sorts of things, and you can get it right on time for Father's Day. Use your Prime card, or your Prime membership, I'm sorry, and it should arrive within 2 days, some of them even 1 day. So if you're a procrastinator, then you can even wait, but still purchase it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't not buy it. Other than that, hope you have a fabulous week, and we will see you next Wednesday. Bye!
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.